Stop staring at me. I'm not doing anything strange. You're the outsider here. I worked in my uncle's granary. I hated it, but I guess that doesn't matter now. I'll take the little gold I have left and start my own business. Someplace safe, I hope. I'm just here. What do you want me to say? My farm was burned just like everyone else's. They had farms in Culm, right? They aren't so scary. People round here are just bitter because the Tuatha destroyed their lives. I guess it's mostly a matter of perspective. Tuatha? Are you mad? The only thing I know about the Tuatha is how they killed my cousins and put my granary to the torch. Who told you? Was it Froma? I knew she was weak. I need the gold, okay? The Tuatha took everything. The least I can do is take their money. Listen, spare me and I'll leave. Disappear. Just go where they can never find me. That's a promise. Goodbye.
This is no life. Trudging in the heat, sleeping in the dust. Our whole lives have been abandoned. Damn Tuatha.
I saw you coming. Hope you'd visit. Just about mad with worry. What with the freemen roaming the hills and caverns. Tell me, child, have you noticed a young woman about? She's quite fair, with red hair, a tattoo like mine across her cheek. It's been 3 days. Their campfires burn all through the night and cast unsettling shadows. They're the worst kind of bandits. Those who don't kill for excess, but for necessity. I am no one. Everything that defined me, my livelihood, my family, my home, all of them were left ash by the Tuatha. Lyra is my life now. None of us wish to be without a roof over our heads, begging for our meals from any man or woman who passes us by. It's not what any of us planned. It was fate. My newfound love, and the only person I have. Everyone, my wife, my son, my grandchildren, all of them were killed in the attacks. Nothing remains but Lyra. She and several of her friends went in search of a better place to make our camp. This wretched sun takes its toll, doesn't it? But they never returned, and I worry. Would you do an old man this one kindness? Would you help me find her? Thank you. I am not rich, not anymore. But what I have left to give is yours. It means nothing without my love. Lyra went in search of refuge in Oriata's tomb. A better place than this desolate cliff. I would try the cemetery on the hill where they buried all the old war heroes. She resisted my advances at first. Tried to use our differences in age to deny the connection. But in the end, fate played its beautiful hand. We began as friends. I was the hunter and she was my apprentice. But her skills quickly surpassed my own. She is a gifted woman, a true wonder. A fitting memorial for a great man. He saved our people from complete destruction. If I had the strength, I would climb that hill and pay my respects. She and her friends were crawling all over the hill near Oriata's tomb. Not exactly the way to show respect, but she meant well. Be careful.
a welcome sight. A minute more and I'd be joining our friends on the hill here. Thanks for the assistance. I just figured everyone out here in the Forsaken Plain was either a refugee or one of the freemen. Looks like I was wrong. You've got to watch your step in the Forsaken Plain. For every cave holds a bandit. Every refugee might be a cheat out to swindle us all. The freemen are especially fierce, for they're fighting not for the take, but for their very survival. Not so different than you or I, they are. Not all of us are from the village of Kulm. We come from all along the Tuili coast. Farmers and merchants, veterans and scholars. The Tuatha have put our possessions to the flame, but we will never accept defeat. Not so long as leaders like Lord Crass and Elrod Edmund act as our standard bearers. I'm a refugee, like the others in the tents. It's a desperate place. People will do anything to see the next morning. Steal, kill, you name it. I don't mind it as much as most, but I was raised in Detir, so I can handle the heat. Can't stand the bandits, though. It's impossible to get a decent night's sleep. Actually, I'm a bit ashamed to say. I'm searching for a grave. But not just any grave. The last resting place of Azo Raymond, richest of the Tuili merchants. They say he died early in the march west, claimed by the Forsaken Plain. Rumor has it he's buried with the famous rings of Azo. I could live a year on those. I'm glad to hear it. There's plenty of ground to cover between here and Rathir to the north, and another pair of eyes will be a huge advantage. Most of the graves are along the refugee route, usually surrounded by crude markings or gestures left by loved ones. It's a pity they couldn't do more. I heard Azo profited greatly from the war in the east, but that he was forced from his home when the Tuatha plundered Erethel. He moved west with the refugees. But the Forsaken Plain is no place for fat, wealthy merchants. They say he died quickly, with not a soul to mourn him. If I knew, I wouldn't be hiking all over this hill, reading names on worn gravestones. With my luck, it's on the other side of the Forsaken Plain. Bye.
I knew someone would come. They all said we were as good as dead, but I held out hope. I don't know why. Never had any reason to hope before. So what's your story? Grave robber, treasure hunter, or like us, a refugee in search of shelter? Omer Vogard was Kuln's primary hunter, but it wasn't long after the Tuatha attack that his hands gave out. Now he can't even hold a bow without shaking. I took over his job, and his heart. I tend to stalk my prey as opposed to shoot it. Something about looking it in the eye before it dies. There's respect in that. She's from the camp on the hill leading into a mare. She's a liar and a thief. Twice I've caught her sneaking into our tents to steal food. Worse than a boggart. I don't know much about Oriator, but what they taught in the village schoolhouse, before it was burned down. He was a war hero. Gallifore Fields, I'd gather. We probably could have sought refuge in Rathir, but there is no way that Dokkalfar would have allowed us to stay. But if we don't belong there, where do we belong? The name fits. We didn't have an easy life when we farmed the fields below Kuln, but it was nothing like this. If the bandits don't get you, the starvation will. He is my beloved. Yes, there is a difference in our ages, but I believe that Omer's experiences have given him a lust for life, one to rival a man with half his years. You did? Well, here I was about to start complaining about them. We've been trapped down here for days, unable to get past those blades, and you simply walk in and disable them, just like that. I'm impressed. I'll say thanks, but the person you're really going to want to talk to is Omer. He'd move mountains to find me. Come along now. The others are waiting back at camp. See you.
Savior!
I knew I could count on you to bring her back. I could see it in your eyes. A spark of recognition. You have a love too. Or did at one point, you know. There is no thanks worthy of this deed. But you were entitled to something. I was a hunter once. Those days are finished. Yours, it seems, are just beginning. Bye.
We won't be out here in the plain forever. Times are changing, I can feel it. Be well.
Once we reach the Cradle of Summer, all will be well. The Summer Court has declared its neutrality. Tatarian will protect us.